Quick warning, this video may contain opinions. Remember, this is what I think, and you don't need to get upset about what a person in his bedroom says about things. Okay, on to the video. Weapon balance is a key component across every single PvP game. It centers around the idea that one weapon should not have an overarching advantage over others. You may find this issue on some weapons that just feel like absolute shit, while others just feel like typing in SV cheats 1 into the console. And unfortunately, Zeppelin Wars has this problem. Anyway, so the way that I'm going to be rating this is on the scale of risk and reward. First, I'm going to go into the downright horrendous weapons that are high risk, low reward. We start out with the Trapdoor, a gun so awful it should just be removed from the game. The thing about the Trapdoor that makes it awful is the simple fact that the Martin exists. It's practically a reskin, except it has a lower range, and it doesn't have a scope. Yes, it does 5 measly more hit points than the Martin. So, when used with the fire axe, it can get a kill. But it's just such a small difference that it isn't even noticeable in most cases. We now have the Fissure Bomb. I genuinely don't even feel the need to explain this. High risk, low reward, next weapon. Moving on, we have the Federal. Now this gun is slightly usable unlike the Trapdoor, but just suffers from the fact that the net launcher is just better in practically every way. Now I will say that if the net launcher didn't exist, this would be a pretty decent weapon. But as previously mentioned, the net launcher is just better. So when we look at the stats, the Federal has the exact same range as the net launcher, has a smaller projectile hitbox, and does less damage. But wait! It turns the enemy plane around. Hahaha, get rotated, idiot. But in all honesty, having to turn your plane around isn't that big of a problem compared to getting a net stuck in your propellers. In terms of fixes for this, I'd say make the Federal similar to the cannons on the deck of the Zeppelin, but have a smaller explosion. Quite literally a hand cannon. Yeah, still at its current point, it's just the risk is outweighed by the reward. Last one that I feel needs to be buffed is the Shovel. The Shovel is meant to be a weapon that has a quick swing speed and does low damage. But that just doesn't really work with the current playstyle of Zeppelin Wars, as this is mainly seeing use against shotgun-wielding crew members. More on that later. Compare the 4 hits needed for a kill against the 3 hits needed by a machete. It just fails to be useful in most fights. Typically, the machete can be used where you hit a headshot with a revolver or something such as the mayor's leg, and then you quickly finish them off with the machete. But a direct headshot from one of those weapons, 60 damage in the case of the mayor's leg, still requires 2 hits from the shovel to kill. When it comes to changes to make the shovel more balanced, I would say make this have a speed buff and a small health buff like the trench knife, and then have it lock your primary so that it can't be used. This would create a fun playstyle where you would have people sprinting around wielding shovels trying to get those crucial 4 hits in for a kill. Remember, don't be afraid to mess around with starter weapons. Now on to the weapons that I feel have too little of a risk and too high of a reward. First, we have the Fuse Bomb. Wait, what? Are you sure the script is right? Yes, I do feel that the Fuse Bomb is rather unbalanced, even though it's probably one of my favorite items. See, while with every other bomb you need to protect it for 40 to 20 seconds while you wait for it to explode. With the Fuse Bomb, you just hide until the fuse gets to 10 seconds, and then you run as fast as your little Lego legs can take you. And typically, when someone finds your bomb, it just has mere seconds left. I've seen entire Zeppelins have their ammo supplies depleted just from fuse bombs. Now, it does have the gimmick where the fuse is paused by a fire extinguisher hitting it. Most new players don't even know what fire extinguishers are, so that's typically a rare occurrence. This is just simply low risk, high reward. Fixes for this could be making the fuse time longer, such as 30 to 35 seconds, and having the ticking sound from the fuse be louder. Up comes the Martin. Now, if you've ever played Team Fortress 2, you know the common debate about Sniper being overpowered, and the Martin just fully embraces this. Martin is my favorite gun to use in the entire game. and I've been using it for at least 4 months now. But within that time period, that's been plenty of time to really just show me how overpowered this gun is. Every single sniper rifle across any game has the idea that it rewards skill with kills. But the Martin just does this too much. Now, I'm not the best Zeppelin Wars player out there, but it just seems stupid that I can blow the head off of a person in a plane 500 studs away. The combination of the game not having bullet drop, damage fall off, and the hitbox of the head extending out to the shoulders. Look this up, reload in a rig in Roblox Studio if you don't know this. It just makes the Martin a gun that feels unbalanced. I don't even have an idea for how to fix this, but it just feels like some nerf needs to be applied to this.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Preparing the
shotgun.
Shotguns have always had balancing issues, practically no matter what game you're looking at. It's always because shotguns fire typically 8 low damage dealing pellets instead of 1. Now the core idea of shotguns is that they are meant for close quarters and to punish enemies carelessly running into areas. Except in Zeppelin Wars, that's the entire fucking game. Close quarters fighting on a Zeppelin. I think you could see where the opinion warning comes in. With every other crew weapon that isn't a shotgun, you have to rely on good aim and quick reactions to make use of the rifles or automatics. But with shotguns, you don't even need to aim at the person. Your crosshair just needs to be somewhat close to them. The lack of damage fall off at range is what makes shotguns even worse. Take the starting shotgun that has 18 damage per shot and 8 rounds capacity. Anyway, so if we do the math for this here, you can use 6 rounds from this shotgun, have only 1 pellet per shot hit the player, and still get a kill. This isn't even including if you hit a headshot. The double barrel shotgun is probably one of the most broken shotguns, with its very tight choke and 18 damage per pellet. There are other shotguns that are all incredibly broken, and they just don't have any other damage fall off. Very much needed fixes for this I can think of are possibly making all the shotguns have a wider choke and deal less damage. Or if possible, just make damage fall off of them. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Remember, these are opinions, you don't need to act like your family was killed because of them. Anyway, yeah, just balance your guns better, Caden. Well, see you next time.